Mate, picture this. It's pitch black, pouring with rain, and I'm halfway up a muddy track that most people wouldn't walk up sober. In a 45-year-old Land Rover that cost me less than a second-hand Fiesta. The wipers are doing the slow-motion samba, the headlights are the color of weak tea, and the engine's just chuntering away like it's having a fag break, and I'm grinning like an idiot because this thing is laughing at the mountain. That, lads and lasses, is the magic of an old Land Rover. But there's one in particular that still, to this very day, crawls up the side of Ben Nevis, just to prove a point. Stick around, because I'm saving the maddest one till last, and it'll break your heart in the best way. You know that smell when you open the door of an old Series Landy for the first time? Diesel, wet dog, Hessian seats, and a hint of sheep. It's like sniffing your granddad's army greatcoat. Pure nostalgia injected straight into your soul. I've owned 9 of the buggers over the years, every one a different flavor of brilliant disaster. And everyone built like the British Army ran out of tanks and said sod it, give it to the farmers. Let's wind the clock back. 1971, I'm 12. Sat on a hay bale in the back of my Uncle S Series IIA, while he towed a horsebox up a 1IN3 hill in Somerset. The thing had leaf springs harder than a sergeant major's stare, no synchro on first or second, and a turning circle that could only be measured in counties. But it never, ever stopped. That day, it planted the disease in me. I've been infected ever since. Fast forward, and I've had the lot. A 59 Series 1, with the lights in the grill like a sleepy frog. A short wheelbase Series 2 that I rolled in Wales, walked away laughing. A beige 109 Safari with the tropical roof that cooked you alive but looked like Lawrence of Arabia's daily. Each one taught me something. Like how you can weld patches over patches until the chassis looks like a quilt. Or how a simple 2.25 petrol will run perfectly on chip shop oil if you're feeling skit. They weren't fast. 0 to 60 took most of a morning, but they were unstoppable. Cross a plowed field. Fine. Cross a river. Borrow some snorkels. Cross a city center without paying the ULEZ. Mate, they're exempt. That's the cheeky bonus. But the Series 3, Christ, the Series 3 is the sweet spot. 71 to 85. Synchro on all 4 gears. Luxury. Better heaters. Proper dashboard, instead of that ridiculous wand thing. And headlights moved out to the wings where God intended. You could buy a decent one today for 6 to 12 grand. Maybe 15 if it's had a galvanized chassis and a tidy paint job. That's nothing. That's a nearly new Dacia Duster with none of the soul. Ideally, a 78/88 inch, Series 3 for 5 years. Army radio box, green, black limestone wheels. Canvas top that flapped like a drunk seagull above 45 miles per hour. People think they're slow. Yeah, they are. But there's something about trundling along at 52 miles per hour. Elbow out the window. Rover V8 burbling through a straight pipe, knowing that literally nothing on the road is tougher than you. Lorries flash you out. Bikers give you the nod. Even Range Rover drivers look jealous, because deep down they know their 120,000 pounds velvet spaceship would die the second it leaves tarmac. And off-road, forget your modern plastic crossovers with their terrain response. A Series Land Rover has 2 levers, low box and deflock. If you're posh, point it, select low first, and it'll idle up stuff that would have a Defender on its roof. I've seen one pull a stuck Arctic out of a ditch while the truck driver stood there crying with gratitude. But here's the one that still haunts me. 1974, Series 3, 88 inch, X-Mountain Rescue, painted in that deep bronze green. Registration ending KFC, we called her the Colonel. She'd been up Ben Nevis more times than most hill walkers. In 2019, a bunch of absolute legends decided to do it again. 40 years after the famous photo of a Series Landy on the summit. They rebuilt the Colonel from the ground up, kept the original 2.25 petrol. And in June last year, they drove her to the top of Britain's highest mountain. 4,406 feet, boulder fields, snow patches, tourist path torn to bits. And that old girl popped out on the summit like she was just nipping to the shops. Grown men were in tears. I watched the footage on repeat for days. That's what these things do to you. They're not just vehicles, they're time machines made of aluminium and stubbornness. One day, when the world's gone fully electric and silent, there'll still be a knackered old Series chugging across some farm with duct tape on the lights and a smile on the driver's face. So, if you've ever thought about owning one, do it. Yeah, they leak, they rust, they drink fuel like it's 1973, and the heater is basically a polite suggestion. But the day you fire one up after it's sat for 6 months, and it starts third crank with a cloud of blue smoke and that unmistakable diesel clatter, mate, you'll be hooked for life. Right? I want to know, what's the toughest, most ridiculous place you've ever taken an old Landy? Or if you've never had one, which era would you go for? Drop it in the comments, because I read every single one. Until next time, keep the revs low, the tires knobbly, and the spirit unbreakable. See you out there.